Hello everybody, it's Jake aka Korean Jew Trading, and in this video I will be talking about the mighty VeChain, otherwise known as Ven. So before I go any further, I will let you know that yes, this is my own opinion, it is not financial advice, and I strongly urge you to do your own research if you decide to invest. Yeah, so now that that's out of the way, this video is a little different from my previous playlist, the Undervalued Gems series. Now, in that series, we were really looking for projects that were not very well known in mainstream crypto, these undervalued gems that had huge potential, high risk, high reward, and really trying to get in early before they were exposed and people kind of bought into them, allowing us to get those huge gains. And obviously, I'm not going to stop doing that. That is something that I'm always looking for. There are so many out there. But I decided to launch this new playlist called Contenders, and this is really for the projects that people know about. You've heard of it. It has a mid-sized market cap, but I'm looking at projects that I believe in more of like a midterm range, 3 to 6 months perhaps, maybe sooner, maybe later, but in that vicinity that will still begin to catapult themselves up the ranks and end up as a top 20 or a top 10 project. And this is VeChain. Ven is the perfect crypto to start this chapter with. And I have a variety of reasons, and actually there's so much information on Ven that I think people either are overlooking or haven't really dug that deep. I initially discovered Ven when I was looking into WTC Walton, because they are somewhat of a similar competitor. And I'm not sitting here saying that Walton is no good or Ven is so much light years ahead. It's just a different take, and just because one is successful, it doesn't mean the other can't be. So, kind of like McDonald's and Burger King, it didn't stop them, or Wendy's, for that matter. But when I think about VeChain, I'm really the more research I do, the more I start to become more firm in my belief that this is really destined to be a top 20 at least crypto in the future. With I could see it with a market cap of 500 million or more. Simply the fundamentals, the partnerships, the team, their vision, their model, their leadership, everything about it just screams out success. And people may say I'm crazy now. I'd like to save this video, and we can revert back to it, and you guys can either call me out or I can stick it in your face. But sometime around Q1, Q2 of 2018, I would not be shocked if VeChain became one of the top 10 cryptos and passed other ones like Neo, for instance, WTC, Qtum, NEM. I don't know how NEM is still in the top 10, but it is. ETC. They're doing something that's very different, and I believe they have everything in place to make a serious run. So this is not, when I say a contender as opposed to an undervalued gem, this isn't something that I expect to just shoot up to the moon out of nowhere. And everybody wants to know, Ven will it moon, no, it's something that's going to steadily, as more and more announcements happen and more developments, kind of like EOS. EOS is another coin contender that I've been looking at and accumulating since September, because I felt that's a separate video. But Ven is one of those projects where it's at the bottom of its price now, and smart money is picking it up, and soon it's going to start to move, and one day it's just going to start going and it won't come back. So without any further ado, let's get into it. I have a ton of information, so do not blame me if I miss something. I do have a fantastic article written by one of the analysts, Stillman. I mean, really did a fantastic job, which I will share with you guys, so you guys can you can read anything I miss, because it's really a lot. But let's get started. Okay, so VeChain, Ven, throw your V's up. We're going to do this for that one. Ven is a RFID tech primarily, but they're not limited to that. So radio frequency information device, that's for tracking supply chains, monitoring all sorts of goods, very similar to Walton or Qtum. But they don't stop at that. They're also NFC, which is near field communication, and they have chips out for that, which is really targeted for counterfeiting or bootlegging, something I know something about. But you know, this day and age with luxury items, there's a lot of bootlegging, and it's getting better and better. It's harder to tell what's real and what isn't. So they have these very tiny chips. Here you see them right there. So you know, these $5,000, $10,000 bags, you can track them. You can verify their authenticity. And this is kind of the second prong of what VeChain is doing. The third prong is they are actually launching, and this is something that people don't really realize, their own blockchain where with a development packet and everything cloud-based, so companies and teams can build their own decentralized apps right on top of it, just like Neo, just like EOS, just like Ethereum, you know, any other smart contract platform. So it's really a huge project. So with this much going on, why do I think they'll be able to execute? Well, first off, let's look at the team. Sunny Liu is the CEO. He was the CIO of Louis Vuitton as well as the CFO. So he has a very reputable background as far as tech. But also, Louis Vuitton is one of the top brands. When you think of luxury, you think of Louis Vuitton, and you know, it's very apparent based off of the partnerships that Sunny has been able to forge that being in a company, a big deal in a company like Louis V, he's been moving in these circles and really networking with the right people. So let's look at the partnerships that they've already made. And just pardon me, I do have notes because this is so much. So just recently, Qtum, world's largest transport and logistic company in the world. I mean, so basically this is a huge shipping company, the biggest in the world. That's a partner. Renault Group, and that project is in cooperation with Microsoft and Visio. And a lot of people are talking about Renault and BMW. I've heard from a few sources that BMW is confirmed, but I haven't been able to confirm it myself. So if somebody wants to drop a comment and a link, I'd really appreciate that. Givenchy, that's a top designer brand. I would assume that more apparel companies are coming. There was a lot of rumors. I think it was a Swedish company that was a large apparel manufacturer. And the only company that really fit that description was H&M. So if they were to announce an H&M partnership, that would be tremendous for them. Unicom, world's third largest telecommunications company by subscription. That's a Chinese company. So the third largest cell phone company in the world. They recently signed a partnership with Made for Goods. So there's a software as a service company, and part of their one of their clients is Pernod Ricard, which is a huge liquor company. They're responsible for Absolute Vodka and some other things, and Michelin. And yeah, so that's just some of their partnerships, but these are real heavy hitters. So they're partnering with all these companies. So when you think about, you know, what's going on, this Sunny is making network and making partnerships all over the world. And that's one of the things that makes me feel that Ven may actually outperform WTC in the future, because WTC is very market specific. They're focusing on RFID, and there's nothing wrong with that. Picking something to specialize in and being the best at it is always a tried and true method to success in business. However, Walton is focusing strictly on the Chinese sector. Now, Ven is an international company, so they're based out of Singapore, so they don't get hammered with Chinese regulation. But their headquarters is in Shanghai. They have offices in Paris. Let's see where else. Yeah, Paris, Singapore, Tokyo, and their headquarters is in Shanghai. So it's interesting also because Japan is very crypto friendly, and VeChain has been doing a lot of marketing to Japan. They're being added to Japanese exchanges as well. That was another recent announcement. Qtum, I can't even pronounce the name of a new exchange ad, but yeah, that was also very good. Also, oh yeah, let's look at their Twitter. PwC, They're like a huge auditing company, and they just recently, on November 16th, posted this 10 global senior partners were in the Shanghai office. So, you know, these type of companies wouldn't deal with, you know, somebody that's a joke or, you know, not legit. So, you know, as far as worrying about Ven's legitimacy, it's not really in question whatsoever. While when WTC first came out, there was a lot of accusations of, you know, these aren't real people and blah, blah, blah. I didn't believe that, but, you know, Ven's authenticity has never been in question. In fact, you may be wondering, how have I not heard about this? How has it flown below my radar? Ven did not market heavily to the Western population at all in the market. In fact, they sold out their ICO in a matter of, I think it was 2 days. I'm not sure. We'll check the paper for that. But it sold out extremely quickly in China, and Ven was doing very well. And they were one of the companies that got smashed during the China ICO ban. And they were delisted from Binance, which they've since been re-enlisted. They are trading on Binance, and this is a project that they're on Binance, HitBTC, Liqui, a couple other exchanges, KuCoin, but they're not on Bitfinex and they're not on Bittrex. But they do have all the characteristics of a project that would be added to an exchange like that. So that's one of those catalysts that could really kind of launch this thing into orbit. And I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be added in the future, especially because the team, and you know, I had heard rumors that the VeChain team was very, I guess, apprehensive. They were laying low because they were scared about the whole China situation. And then I started to hear rumors that they're no longer scared because it surely appears that China will be back in trading again in cryptocurrency in December. And I heard a lot of rumors that they're going to kind of come out of their slumber. And Sonny Liu, I mean, if you've ever seen him speak, he's extremely impressive. Very good English speaker. He knows what he's doing, and that's a leader that you want. When it comes to crypto, he's up there. He's somebody that you want leading your project. But anyway, this guy understands branding. He understands marketing. So I'm very comfortable with who's driving the ship for this team. And then back to what I was saying is, they had decided that they're going to really start to get out and market. And on the 16th, you had all these, out of nowhere, a blast of all these different posts and sharing news, announcing partnerships and new exchanges all at once. And it was like starting to get really hot, and then was actually, it was swallowed up by that BTC run up to 8,000, just like everything else. So really kind of stopped that momentum, but you speak to people that trade crypto, they'll know exactly what's going on with Ven. It's a very solid project. What else? Let's see. So let's look at why I think it's a good time to get in now. The first thing we can do is actually look at this chart. So around this time, this was parabolic growth. I think I actually called a Ven entry at this point around here, like 33, 34, and it shot up like insane in 2 days, and then now it is retraced, and it's almost done a full retrace. We're sitting right at the lowest fib level right here, which is around 3K. So if we move forward, we're right on that level. So this is like a perfect time to get in essence. I mean, it's either going to bounce off of this and grow, or it's going to sink down lower, which I don't think will happen because it certainly seems that there's a lot of good stuff coming up for this project. And frankly, I can't imagine them not breaking through that top 50, breaking through that top 30. I think this is a project that can have sustainable growth. So this is a good time to enter. It's gone all the way down. When you look at the price history, you know, below this level, you're looking at dirt cheap prices, which I don't think will happen. Also, when you look at, let's see, they've done a Q&A recently where Sonny announced that the chips that they have are actually patented, both of them. So that's very good to know. When you look at the roadmap, so they've been around since 2015. They're not new. They've been working at this hard for a long time. What do we have in future for the next 2 months or a month and a half? So the 3rd generation smart chip is coming out. which is, you know, that means that they're perfecting their model. The cloud, the asymmetric blockchain checksum, VeChain cloud platform launches, more business implementation cases. So more businesses will see the benefits of using VeChain. That's in Q2. Oh, sorry, Q4. In Q2, that's when the real major stuff starts to happen. So they're going to really get going. You'll start to see decentralized apps. You're going to see real usage. The chips are already being used by companies, but as far as implementing it on the blockchain and using the Ven token, that's another key component to why Ven is good. Anything you do within that network you have to pay for with the Ven token. So it's kind of like gas almost. Excuse me. So here you have this huge company with a huge project, and they're really starting to ramp up their marketing to the West. It's starting to get exposure, and it's at a very, very low price. Similar to EOS, it's one of those projects where you look at everything they're doing. They're handling their business. Their quarterly reports are very professional and transparent. EOS is something that, and I'm going to make a separate video for them altogether. They are also a Q2 monster, and major things start to happen in Q2. So usually you see the price doesn't ramp up the second things happen. It starts to grow slowly, and the more you hear about it, the more it goes, and then it just, you know, before you know it, it's already in a whole new price range. So for me, VeChain is not something that I'm looking to buy and make 20% off tomorrow. It's something that I'm planning to accumulate. I'll buy. I've already bought. I'll buy again. If it goes back down, I'll buy more. And it's something that I'm willing to hold. And I can't say that about a lot of cryptos. You guys know my strategy. I'm usually all in and all out. Not all in, but I go into a position and I exit. You know, once I've made enough profit that I feel is sufficient, I get the hell out. And VeChain is something that I'm willing to hold. I'll hold it until the summer of 2018 and see what happens. Unless, obviously, I'm always somebody that pivots if things change, and for whatever reason I feel that Ven is no longer what I think it is, then I'll let you guys know and say, you know what, I've decided to exit. But in my opinion, this thing has, you know, top 20, if not top 10, written all over it. So I will definitely attach a lot of because this is a hard video to make. There's so much information, and I have a lot of supporting documents and articles and things of that nature compiled into one great write-up. So I will send that. That will be in the descriptions. If you like this video, make sure to let me know. Hit that like button, subscribe. I'm not going to stop, guys. We all know what's going on. We all know what happened, and I've addressed that. I've moved forward. I don't, you know, I am committed to, this is what I do. You know, I'm not going to stop, and I'm going to continue to try to help people get ahead in this game, because, you know, the bottom line is, like I've said many times, we're all here because we have big dreams, we have big hopes, and we're on the cutting edge of what's going on, what's the future. And, you know, if we play this right, we won't be slaves to a corporation. We'll be able to write our own ships. We'll be able to start our own businesses. We'll be able to spend time with our families and help them. And that's really the most important thing. So, you know, the people that are trying, they're out there, they're trying to take our money, they're trying to take advantage of us. And you have to be vigilant. You have to do your own research. And, you know, you just continue to always go with your gut. And that's led me to here, to this point. I'm honored and blessed that people actually watch my videos. And yeah, I can't wait to do more. I have undervalued gems that I can't wait to talk about. So they will be coming. But I hope you enjoyed this first installment of the Coin Contender series. Feel free to hit me up on Twitter, join Telegram. I try to be as accessible as possible. I spend a lot of time in the dojo talking and growing with everybody. And yeah, I will talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.